This is Sportscentre.
Hey, I'm Marissa Roberto, and we've got a big Atlantic Division showdown for you on the ice tonight, as the Panthers are taking on the Leafs, and guess who's in the building? That's right, get ready to win. Now, anytime these two teams play, it's special because of the playoff implications and their recent playoff history. But this year, neither of these teams have had the year they've expected. As through 41 games, they are actually both out of a playoff spot, which makes a potential 4-point swing in the standings huge for either side. Sure, the East wildcard is still fairly wide open, but time is starting to become a factor. And if you don't believe us, just look at the fact that 7 of the 8 Eastern Conference teams who were in a playoff spot at this time last year ended up making it, with the only exception, the Bruins. But that makes sense because they were major sellers at the deadline. So if last year shows us anything, it's that a mid-season playoff push could be very challenging. And that task feels especially hard for Toronto after yesterday's news, as the team announced they're placing William Nylander on IR, retroactive to December 27th, which adds another key name to their injury list. But to give the Leafs credit where credit's due, they've actually been okay in the games he's missed, thanks largely to Austin Matthews, who kind of looks like he's back, as he's got 6 goals and 10 points in those last 4 games. But will that continue against the Panthers tonight? Well, if it does, you'll hear me cheering from the broadcast. Sticking on the ice, and it's getting ugly in Winnipeg. I mean, really, really ugly. It's just a shame. Like, it's just too bad, you know? They've now dropped 9 straight games, and thanks to those 9 losses, they're now dead last in the NHL. So what is the problem in Winnipeg exactly? Well, the answer is an easy one. They can't score any goals. Going back to December 15th when this losing streak started, they're scoring just 2.11 goals per game, which is tied for second last in the NHL in that stretch. Only the Devils are worse, and they've somehow won 4 games in that time period. And check out that power play, operating at just 12.5%, which is also bottom 5. But the good news for tonight is that they're getting a Vegas team who is also struggling. As in that same stretch we discussed with the Jets, they're allowing 3.78 goals per game, which is 3rd worst in the NHL. So if you're ever going to get your offense going, Vegas is the team you want to be playing. Those of you in the Jets region who watch tonight's game on TSN, coverage begins at 6:30 Central. Time now for my favorite segment and yours, that we love sports today.
Why we love sports today.
And if you've ever wondered what jousting in the modern day would look like, and not in that soft medieval times kind of way, look no further. Okay, I preface that with, like, in the modern day would look like this, they just took it back in time again, and they're being hardcore. That was intense. To the association, can you believe we're just 30 days away from the NBA trade deadline? And there's been some buzz around some pretty big names potentially on the move. And last night we got what could be the first domino ready to fall. As according to Shams, Trae Young and the Hawks are working together to facilitate a trade, with him adding the two sides have had positive dialogue, since the Hawks have decided not to offer him an extension in the summer. And according to Mark Stein, the Wizards have emerged as frontrunners in the deal, centering around CJ McCollum's expiring contract and picks, which if you're Trae, not sure why you'd want the Wizards. But it's clear this is a toxic asset, with Sam Amick of The Athletic adding that even the Kings aren't interested in him. So Wizards or Kings? Ugh, I don't like that. It's the first Tuesday of 2026, which means it's time to kick off for anytime goal scorer picks for the year. And with 10 games tonight, there is a lot to choose from. But we got our eyes on the Oilers and specifically Leon Draisaitl, who's been a goal-scoring machine since entering the league. But since the start of last season, no one has more goals than him. But surprisingly, he has not found the back of the net since Festivus, December 23rd. So we're saying he's due. And he's up against maybe his favorite opponent tonight in Nashville, as on a per-game basis, he's scored more goals versus the Preds than any other team. So we're smashing him on FanDuel at +120. That's it for me today. We'll see you picking around 3 Eastern, noon Pacific. Have a great one. Shout out Saskatoon.